Hello everybody. I want to welcome you to Journey Through Life from Beginnings. This is a new channel for me and I'm starting it up, so let me introduce myself. My name is Kathy Kincaid. I am been basically a family historian for our family for over 40 years. I began this journey like I said 40 years ago. I have learned a few tips and tricks along the way that can help you to not only find your family members, but to be able to find your page to put your family members' information on. Say you have somebody, you run across somebody that give you a little bit of a story or give you a little bit of entertaining facts that you did not realize, or you suddenly found a newspaper article. You would want to be able to find that family member's page quickly. Now you could put it on a computer. There's a lot of good computer programs that you could use, but I want to teach you how to do it both in a journal fashion and in a just a easy way, a less expensive way than having to buy a big fancy program and everything. So let me take you through the steps as we go on through our journey in this video series. I want to start by giving you my history to the best of my ability. My journey began 40 years ago when my cousin, let me back up, when my brother-in-law passed away. He was 19 years old. He died the day before he would have turned 20. And my youngest daughter at that time was about maybe 6 weeks old. She was just little. He had come down over the hill and talked to her the day before, and we did not realize, of course, that something bad was going to happen to him. So I wanted to keep his vision, his life, his everything alive. And I talked to my grandma Hankins, and she told me a story about my cousin Tony, who had written for her school, a project for her school, our family history. She had come up and talked to Grandma, and they got some information, and Grandma had a copy of the thing, or Tony gave it to me. I'm not sure exactly how I got a copy of it, but I did, and it intrigued me. It started me down a journey that I absolutely love. Absolutely love. You can do it for years at a clip, and then you can put it away, and you can come back, and you can talk to somebody on the street that says, oh yeah, I knew your grandfather, and this is the story I have about him. And you really want to tell those stories. You don't want to, well, I didn't want to. Let me say, you can do it how you want to. I did not want to just simply have bare facts, although that is what a lot of genealogy is. But there come with all those facts, stories. Even if the stories don't necessarily pertain to your ancestors, they pertain to the time that they were here on the planet. There are, extenuating circumstances. There are family circumstances. There are our friends' circumstances that you might want to include in your particular journey. So I thought journaling would be wonderful. Now, you want to know how I come up with the name Journaling Through Life from Beginnings? As everybody or most people know, I have a different channel called KSK. It is called Kincaid Special Creations. That was the initials of my first daughter that passed away, Kelly Suzanne Kincaid. Well, when I started to do the second generation, I wanted to honor my oldest, who has also passed away. Her name was Jennifer Lynn Brown. So that is where you get Journaling Through Life from Beginnings. Journal Through Life from Beginnings. I really enjoyed reading back to Tony's paper. I really enjoyed reading Tony's paper. And she originally, her paperwork could take us back to, through Grandma Hankins' side, through several generations back to a Peter Kettler that had traveled from Germany to America, and the symptoms behind it, what happened, why did he decide he wanted to come, all that became very intriguing to me. So I wanted to learn more, of course. So then I found a lot of information. Tony had started with a lot of information. I continued on with that information. And then I come to the knowledge that, well, if I'm going to do my side, my mom's side, what about my dad's side? So then I went and I started talking to my grandma Johnson, who was Dad's mom, and my grandma Wilson, which was his grandmother, who give me a wealth of information on the Johnson side. So then I thought, well, if I'm going to do my side both ways, what about Tim's? He was who, I married him. He was interested in what I was doing, as he's been his whole life. So I thought, well, maybe I will go ahead and do his side. So that brought me to his grandfather, Tony, who told us a lot of stuff. And then his dad, because his parents had died early, he told us what he knew, and then we could take it further back from there. So I just wanted to keep the ones that had gone before us, before their time was ready, or before I was even born. I wanted to keep their stories alive for my grandchildren. Well, since then, or actually for my children, since then I have become a grandmother and a great-grandmother. And over the course of time, I have continued to do all of my history. I have continued to work on all that stuff. I have continued to find out more information about people. And I thought that this would be a good way for me to encourage you to start, so that when you become grandmothers, or you become maybe grandfathers, you might be a fellow watching, which is perfect. I mean, I love to see men involved in family history. So, speaking of grandparents, I used to sit on the porch where grandmas and grandpas would sit on the porch and just, they'd be talking back and forth when I was young. And I was like, well, that is wonderful, because if you could remember what they were saying at the time they were doing it, I was too young to even think about it. But when I thought back on it, I thought, oh my gosh, this is absolutely awesome that I have memories of what they were saying at the time that I didn't even know really dealt with the family, because I didn't know. I was a kid. I wasn't paying attention to who all the family members were. I knew the names because they were uncles, aunts, cousins, whatever. But I didn't know how important that was for me to be paying attention at that time, to be able to come into the family history at a later time. So now, as I've gotten, I've gotten older, I realize I'm the grandmother on the porch. And my porch now becomes you guys, becomes the universe of YouTubers, becomes the people that will subscribe and share and like and keep it going forward and forward and forward. So I thought that we might get together and we might talk about some things that have happened. You may have something that I'm talking about. You may have a wealth of information to add to that, which would be absolutely great. You could, always comment on the thing. Is this something you're interested in? Is there something you want me to research more? Is there something that you can add to the research that I have? Because now I have done a lot of research through. I have started out going to the county clerk's office. I sat many an hour over at the county clerk's office when they allowed you to pull the books out and look at them. And as I tell this story a lot of times through my lifetime, I would be sitting there, and these books were probably 14 inches wide by 2 foot thick, 2 foot tall. and you'd have to lay them out on a table and turn the page and look down through and see if you found a name. Well, I would find a name that really wasn't one of the names I was researching, and then I would have to turn around, go 3 or 4 pages down the line. It was like somebody was patting me on the shoulder to say, go back and get that information. That's going. And within 6 months, I could tie that particular information into our family tree. So it's always more exciting to run to the county clerk's office or the county records office, or go to the library, which has an abundance wealth of genealogy stuff that you can look through. They even have reels of old newspapers that you can look through. Obituaries is an awesome place to not only find that the person that you're looking for, when they died, maybe even how they died, or it may give you their family. It'll give you their kids that are still living, their grandkids, the ones that's passed on before them. There's always a wealth of information out there that you can work from. My mom, as I got interested in it and I kept going on with more details and more details and more details, I'd go to Mom first. She said, Kathy, I don't know anything. Don't ask me questions because I don't know anything. Well, the more I would find out and be excited to tell her, because she was the one that was interested in me doing it, not necessarily interested in her giving me the information. She would tell me stuff that was amazing, because once I said a name, it triggered a response, a memory in her, as she told me. So there was a ton of information that Mom had gave me. So that you start out, I'll go with that in just a minute, but you start out from the beginning and you keep going backwards with the people that are still living, so they can tie you into somebody that may be gone, that you can go. Cemeteries are an awesome place to find birth and death, and generally in the same area, people that were kin to each other, because mostly they'll be buried in the same cemetery. So there are so many places. We'll go over all those as the channel grows and the channel gets more. We'll go over all that places to find your information and how to find your information when you get to those places, because that's as important as knowing the place to go. You need to know where to go in that place. You need to know what information that you're looking for, because you can go down a rabbit hole quick. You can find a gazillion things and still not find the information that you went over there to find. Although that's good, you still avoided finding the information that you wanted. Chasing stories through time becomes a passion that does not change, no matter if you are doing it daily, as I have done in the past, or you do it for a few weeks and then get off of it, and then so you talk to somebody and they trigger something and you're getting right back into it. I'm sitting here putting all of my information that I have in probably 200 notebooks. I'm putting it on the computers just simply for ease of access. All the stories that are coming with it, all the things that I learned from everybody else, all the sources that I found it from. And trust me when I say, if you've been watching another genealogy channel, that's fine. They're going to tell you sources are the most important. And although I did not do the sources in my notebooks as I was doing it like I should have, they are very important. So always I don't care if you're taking a notebook sheet of paper and you're putting stuff down, put on the bottom of it where I found that information. If it's page on you, put down, this is my information. I gave it. I know it. It's the truth. Because like I've said before, when me and Tim got married, we got married on August the 9th. But our official birth certificate over at the courthouse says we got married on August the 8th. That's because that was the date that the preacher filed it under when he took it over to the courthouse. But as me and Timmy were there, and we're still here to know it, we were married on August the 9th. I can tell you every detail, and may later on through the thing tell you everything we did that day, just before we got married. He was 16, had to get a waiver in order to get married. I was 17 and 5 months pregnant with my daughter. So the times have changed so much now, but the experiences that somebody was going through at that time is the most exciting part of family history. Genealogy is the facts that you need: dates, birth, death, marriage, all that other stuff. Family history is the stories that go behind it. And to make somebody come from a page in a book into the soul of the person, you have to tell those stories. I feel, now this might just be my personal opinion, if you agree with me, leave me a comment down in the lower sections, because I think that's important. I really honestly think that those are one of the most important things that you can do, is bring the people like my brother-in-law that passed away early into the life of, I've got great-grandsons now, into the life of my great-grandson, so that he can understand what happened to him, why he died so early, and why it's important to know him, because he was a wonderful fella. He really was. He lived his entire life in the 19 years he was here, literally speaking, but he did have a very, very adventurous life. He went to Florida, he went to Ohio, he went, Virginia, all in this course of the 19 years he was here. So he lived a full life. He did. Even though the good Lord took him early, he still got to experience the things that a lot of us don't experience even now. So we'll work on videos as the channel grows. We'll work on videos of how to do your individual sheet, which gives your information. You can do it just simply by putting your name, your birth date, where you were born at, if you're married, who you got married to, when you got married, where you were married at. Then from there you can put down your parents, and then you can start an individual group sheet on them. If you're back to your sheet, if you're married, you can add your husband's birth date, where he was born, and all that stuff on his part of your individual sheet. That way, you might have lived in 2 different states. How did you meet? That could be a little story to put down at the bottom. Your grandkids or great-grandkids would be tickled. I would love to know how my grandmother and grandfather Pridemore met, because one of them lived in Ironton, Ohio when they were born in Ironton, Ohio. The other one was born in Greenup, Kentucky. How did they meet to get married? The things are absolutely fascinating. And those stories through time has left us, but if we can, as people of the 24th or 25th century, whatever we are in now, 20th century, I guess, in the year 2025, we can bring this stuff forward. A lot of people these days think that's not important, but it's every bit as important today to do our genealogy as it was for anybody in the past to do theirs. Because if you don't do your genealogy and you don't tell somebody something about your life or something, they only have the brass knuckle facts that the government puts in. They don't have the wonderful stories you have to tell. They don't have the experiences. They don't know those, because those are not written down facts from somebody to somebody. So if you could, and you have specific things that you want to pass on from your generation on to the next generation, write them down. If your mom tells you something intriguing about her generation, I could tell you a ton of stuff from just the 66 years I've been here on this planet, how massively things have changed from when I was a child growing up to now. And I can throw a rock down to the place that I spent most of my lifetime. I haven't moved a ton of places away from where I was raised. You know, my grandma lived right down over the hill for years and years and years. That's where we played. We played in the creek. We did all kinds of stuff. But those are the stories that I would like to pass on to my children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. And in the process, pass them on to you so that you can know a type of story or spark an interest in you of a story that you want to tell your children. So we'll get into the forms and the places to look and all that stuff as the channel grows. But I'm just wanting to do an intro video that simply brings you a little insight into me, how excited I am about doing family history, genealogy, how I have come from beginnings all the way up to now, and help you to get you started. Journaling would have been great if I would have started that back in the day, because I would have had a running journal and a journal doesn't have to be chronological, guys. If you happen to find a story that you have and you put in the first page, and the next story you find is about your great-grandfather that you happen to be researching, that's a journal. That is what the journal is going to be. Whatever you are researching at the time, just jot down a few extra details that's not necessarily part of the thing, but stuff that you want. You might go take a picture of where they lived, where they were born at, you know, whatever. Then you can bring these pictures into a journal that your children or your grandchildren can open that up and say, oh, this is so interesting. We come from such a vast variety of people that all blended together to make one good family. My journey has been a ride, that is for sure. There is not too much I haven't done. I went to the courthouse many times. I went to the cemeteries in our county and in areas that aren't in our county. Timmy has been really wonderful and taken me to different cemeteries. He'll get out and walk with me and help me find the grave sites that I'm looking for. Now, did I take pictures of those? No. Do I have a map that will tell you how to get to the cemeteries that I found my people in? No, but those are coming, because that is something that I wanted to do, and with this channel, that's what I will do. I'll tell you on what road it's located at. I'll tell you how to get to it, and in the approximate area that the people that I searched are at. And then, you know, if there are other people, you know, you can't get out and go to a cemetery. Say you live in Utah or something, and you still want to know where your family's buried at. If I can help, we'll go and look it up. Timmy's getting ready to retire in a year or so, and we're going to be doing lots of things like that. So we're going to keep going. I want to thank all of the genealogists and all of the family members that have helped me in the past, because without their information, without their stuff that they did, I wouldn't been able to push my family as far along as what I have. So you have to always give credit to the people that give you the information, because it's just a polite thing to do, for one thing, but it is showing your respect for them taking their time out of their day to talk to you. And you'll find out that when you get started talking, a lot of people know a lot of things that they can tell you, because it is part of their history that they would like to share. And if they come across something, say they've told you a story that they say, no, I don't want this in the record, please don't put it in there. Because if it's something that private to them, they obviously have a reason. But it gives you insight into what was going on in the family at that time. I'm going to try to be working on 10 generations. That means I have me as generation 1, then my kids are +1, my grandkids are +2, my great-grandkids are +3. So right there is 4 generations out of the 10 generations. So I'm going to go backwards 6 generations. This is because this is information that is readily available in our county clerk's office and everything. There, you're going to find out as you're researching that your county office may have burnt down. Those records are gone. So if it wasn't for the people that had been keeping genealogy through the years, you would be completely lost as to who your family members are. Yes, you can go to, I think it's Ancestry.com, and have a DNA test, and you can find out how many people you're kin to and all that stuff, and that's great. If that's the only thing you want to do, that's absolutely great. At least you'll have a foot in the door for genealogy. If you want to do it a little bit farther and you want to go into a little bit more in-depth, this is the channel you want to follow, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start from the beginning, and this time I'm going to journal my way through it, because I already have the facts, I already have the information, but I'll tell you how I got those facts, how I got that information, and where you can go to look for your family's information that may help you out. Or if I have information already in my family tree that will help you out, I'll be happy to share. All you have to do is ask. Anybody that wants to ask can either leave me a comment down in the description box or in the comment section, or you can email me at journalthrulifefrombeginnings@gmail.com. I take that back. I think my name is katiesideas2020@gmail.com. I think that's the email address I'm going to be using. Simply because I already have that email, I don't have to make one, so that's the one I'll be using. At first, I started out with all paper. That's how come I got all the notebooks. Every note I took, every individual page I found, and believe you me, I found. Just right now, inside my family tree program that I purchased was over $100. So that's why I'm saying, if you don't want to invest that before you find out whether you have the passion I do, just start with me with paper. I've got over 7,000 names, and that is only probably a tenth of the names that I have to put in there. But I wanted to start this channel because, one, I'm getting older and God decides when we're not here anymore, so I wanted to be able to help some more people as we go on. I will continue to add names in this and go back as far as I can, but in the meantime, I'm going to do the 6 generations behind me and the 3 generations in front of me. Counting me, that's a full total of 10 generations on this channel. If we still doing good and we're doing fine with that, once I get all those done, in about 4 years from now, we'll jump backwards onto the other ones. Now, 4 years is just a guess. I do not know. Depends on how well it goes. As I go through my journey with this YouTube channel, I will begin where the want to, how to start, how to get in, how to keep interested. You can get interested, you can get excited. Oh man, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do this. But to keep you motivated and keep you going, and this day and age, it's so easy because you have Find a Grave, you have Roots Web in Charleston, you have the LDS out in Utah, you have all these places that probably has the names you're looking for anyway. However, that computer does not take the place of actually getting up, going out, spending a day looking at the cemeteries where people had to be taken, and put to rest. Seeing, is the cemetery taken care of? Do you need to take a flower? Are they a close enough family member that you might want to take a flower on Memorial Day? Well, you have to know where the cemetery that they're buried is. So this for me, this is the journey that I would like to have as many people come along with me as I can. So we're going to start with that. I'm going to wrap it up to invite you to join me, to subscribe, like this video so I can see how many people that might be interested in joining me. We're going to, the next day that I will be uploading a video to the JLB channel will be 2 weeks from today. Whatever that Thursday is, I will upload a video 2 weeks from today. When I post this is Thursday. 2 weeks from today, you can look for another video. That video will start with the individual sheet, how to fill it out, how to embellish it, how to take it from point A to point B, your first journaling page, put it on, start with yourself, take a picture of yourself, what you're thinking, why you're starting this, why you want to do this. So in the meantime, you can get a book. It can be a composition book, it could be a journal. I have this book that I'm going to be using as my journal. I got this off of Temu. I think it cost me like maybe $5, but it's nice and thick, so it'll be able to be, there'll be different ways of journaling that we will work on. There'll be different ideas, but the first and foremost thing that we will start with is you. Your individual page, your birthday, where you were born at. You might want to take a picture of the hospital you were born in, because most people that are alive today was born in a hospital. I, however, was not. I was delivered by my grandmother Wilson. She helped my mom deliver me into the world. Now, that was in the process of my dad going and getting the doctor to come to the house to deliver me, but I wasn't waiting. I was like my daughter, I was coming out of that world ready to go. So this is a way for me to be able to give back to the ancestors that helped me get to where I'm at now. So that's where we're going to go with that. But we will start, the very first one will be some form of journal. Like I said, you can get you a 3-ring notebook. You can get you a composition book. You can get you a scrapbook. Scrapbooks are really good for journaling, because then you can combine everything together instead of having to have a family tree thing. You could simply have a scrapbook. I'll show you the scrapbook that we worked with, where you take pictures of whoever, and then you can put their birth and all that stuff down in a little journaling page, and then a story about them. That would work as well. Well, guys, I think I've kept you long enough, so I'm going to cut this down and say I will see you 2 weeks from today. I hope you are intrigued enough to come back and see what I'm going to do. If you like this kind of stuff and you think this might be something you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I will be excited to have you, of course, but I will be ready to engage with you with the stuff. Any questions that you have, any questions that you might come up with, always let me know. Like I said, you can contact me at Katie's Idea, KATIES IDEAS 2020@gmail.com. You can send me any questions or any information or anything that you want to. You may have a picture of the person that I am talking about as we go through our time. Any way it goes, if you want to send me information, that will be. I will list that email address in the description box. I will also link, because I do have the second channel, KSK, Kincaid Special Creations. I'll also link into KSK if you want to see some other videos of what we've done. We have done all kinds of different things, crafts, home organization, gardening, which we'll do also on that channel. But for this one, it is going to be strictly journaling, family history. So remember, JLB is the initials for this. It's Journal Through Life from Beginnings. Just if you subscribe, you'll already have it on your subscription list, and you'll always be able to come back. Hit that notification bell if you find something that you like, and that will bring you back to me every time I upload something. All right, guys, you all have a wonderful day, and we will see you on the flip side 2 weeks from Thursday. Bye-bye.